All right, so this is the pulley that we just got. It's got a split in it. That's on purpose. There's some, they sell them without it, but this I figured would be better. You can kind of lock that down once you get it on. It looks pretty decent. It's all machined. And actually, I don't know how I measured the other one, but this one ends up being almost the exact right length. They've even turned the roll pin. Let's focus. They've even turned this roll pin down. I think that's where the crank locks in. And then if you look on here, they've even turned the head of that screw. They've got it on a taper so that it focus. They've got it on a taper so that when you have it in there, it doesn't you don't have any issues. Let me grab the other pulley quick. So this is the new one. This is the old one. They're actually, if you line them up, I think this was like 2 3/4 or 3 3/4. Anyway, I think it's the right one. I'm gonna try to set it up to get it on. It's pretty tight on that shaft, so I'll have to tap it in with a piece of brass or a piece of wood or something. Let me set up and we'll try it. So I'm going to try to do is line up, this is the main hole, line that up with, see on top of the crank here, there's the other hole. Just going to line that up with my eyeballs. And the screw, the set screw is loose. So that's loose, so it's not going to give us much resistance. And because I don't have the, I don't really feel like spending the time to get the right piece of wood, just got a piece of something here. Put that on there and see how hard this thing goes in. Should probably be looking, we're not quite lined up with the hole yet. And we're actually looking pretty good right there. So I'll take out my fancy piece of varnished wood and take a look at how it's lined up. As I'm looking down, it looks like it's gonna go on just a little bit more yet, and I'm not quite flush with the end of the crank. I don't think we could luck out and have it be right on the money that flush with the end of the crank is the right distance. But if I give it just a little bit more, kind of looking from the top down as I do this. Actually, from what I can tell, I'm gonna go a little bit more yet. I'm actually lined up pretty good left to right, so I shouldn't have to twist it a whole lot. But I am getting really close to flush. It's looking like we might be able to just go flush with it, and that might be the right spot, but after all this messing around, I'm better off looking at it 100 times rather than going past. It actually doesn't look horrible. Oh, apparently I can't turn that over by hand. It's a little bit hard to tell because the center of this, you're looking from the top down and you can see this hole, but there's actually the hole down here is what we're trying to line up. And I think that looks like we're pretty close. What I should probably do now, see if I can get this roll pin in there. Looks like both sides have a taper to it, like a normal roll pin. As I said, you can see they must have turned this down. There's a few spots where they haven't, focus, where it hasn't cleaned up, but I don't think that's gonna really matter. So if we put that in there, let's see here once. If we're gonna use this as a crank, it's gonna have the little teeth. So there's no instructions, but I'm gonna assume that the slot being out should be the best. Let's think through that. Any reason why it could be any other direction? Because if the teeth on the crank are going to grab onto that, we want a nice smooth surface. And might want to actually turn it, since we know we're always going to go the same direction, maybe you want to have it turned so that the slot is away You grab the crank just to make sure. You can take this pin out here. I think what we're going to do is put it in so that the open side is that way, because you're always going to be engaging it like that. So it'd probably be best. You see the slot in there. There you go. So this slot, I think I'm going to put it in sideways so that it's always engaging on the full diameter. I don't know that it really matters, but I like to overthink as much as possible. So that's in there. I don't want to get probably a piece of brass. So here's the plan. Haven't worked it through yet, but get my piece of brass, because when you hit something with brass, it never breaks. Then I think I'm going to do one of these. Use this other piece of brass, so I'm double brassing it up. This is going to be safe. I mean, anybody see that doing what it's supposed to do? Yeah, it's starting. It's moving now. Let's hope it's the right way. It's either getting smashed into the brass. Oh, it's going in. It's going in. It's an aluminum, so I'm pretty sure it'll just wreck everything. It's only like $70 for one of these pulleys, so you know, I'll just buy another one. Well, it's through the bottom, so I think that's pretty much what it's going to be. I'm going to get something else that's the right size to put that down a little further. Yeah, why don't you get out of the way so we can see your other idiot brother? Yeah, that seems like a great idea. Let's see another great idea here. Does not sound like the paint's going to be doing very good. Next best thing to brass is got to be wood, right? Try this other piece of ugly wood that I had from before. It's not really moving. Or is it? Okay, piece of wood doesn't work. Let's look for something else. So maybe an aluminum rod this time? Aluminum can't wreck aluminum, right? We're flush, but I think it should be set in a little bit. Oh, this is not going to be... This isn't approved. I know no one's going to like this, but that's got that little tapered piece that we had made to push into the... So that should hit just on that. But now I'm going to need my fancy brass hammer. So I have my, again, my safety brass. Alright, so we're just going to go a little bit deeper than what we got already here. Man, this doesn't seem like a good idea. Now, if I hit the safety brass with a piece of... Oh, so close. So close. Almost had it. Almost had it. Alright, let's try this again. This in here. I'm going to stack my safety brass on top of it because just having brass in the equation is going to help make things not get wrecked, maybe. Alright, so I'm going to hold all of this. Stand on one foot. You guys can see better than I with what's going on. I sure as heck can't see what's going on. Alright, like that. All right, so now that that's all in there, it's just a little bit below the surface. So now I can crank this thing down to a non-torque spec, I'm sure. I don't think I really needed this split pulley. I could have put a solid one on, potentially. This one just was a couple bucks more, and I didn't know. Could have probably mic'd up some diameters or something. Don't know. Anyway, it's here now, so looks like, get that in there. It's just kind of to snug it up on the shaft. And I'm assuming, since it's for a Model T, it's not metric. This wrench here doesn't seem, oh, my wrench is all buggered up. So, I'll just use this end. Feels like that'll be good. So then, I believe I'm still going to have to adjust my fan. But let's see if we can get that on there. So then I just put this, I think I can zoom you guys out. I don't know how this is gonna be up a little bit. Let's see a little bit more. Good enough. So this is gonna go down on the pulley. It's on the fan. We want to get it over top of this water pump. Yeah, I feel I'm gonna tighten that. Stuff's gonna have to get tightened down. It seems really loose. So let me grab some wrenches for that quick. It might be a little hard to see, but there's an 11/16 lock bolt, lock bolt, and then there's like an eccentric here that the fan is bolted onto. I believe I can just unscrew this lock bolt and then turn this one. I don't remember. Let's take a look around here. I don't remember how I did that last time. There's a lock washer or a pin in there. Guess I'll have to get a wrench for that one too. That's probably not the 11/16 that I have, or the 11/16 that I have here. Of course, it wouldn't be. Yeah, it is. So if I take that out, gonna need pliers. Just gotta tighten here. Also, if anybody knows where I can get a distributor like this, mainly just the cap, rotor, and points, right here, yeah, let me know what it is. It says Brazil or Argentina or something all over it, but I cannot find parts for it anywhere. So if you guys know, let me know down in the comments, and then I can get some parts. Because this one's been, I've sanded the points enough times on this one that it's likely not going to take another sanding. Okay, I'll set you guys up, see if I can get that to, hopefully this works. This works as I have it envisioned. Normally it doesn't, but we'll try. I don't remember if there was, I thought there was some sort of like a threaded mechanism in here. So I wonder if I loosen up this lock nut, and if I start turning the other side, I wonder if that will rotate this thing. I thought there was like a screw set up in there somewhere.
See. Actually, no, I can't tell if it's moving or not. Can't socket it.
Nope, I don't think that's doing anything. I don't know. Maybe it is. So I think that's loose. I don't know what this is gonna. Oh yeah, that's okay. That's just what I do then. I was wrong. Again. So just do this. Okay, now we're hitting something, but actually it seems pretty tight on there now. I don't want to go crazy with this. It's going to side load this water pump. The tighter I make it, so it's probably got a good. Probably good right there. We'll call that good. It's a little tight. There's no manual for this because I don't think this is actually the right. This is not the right fan. It's obviously a snouse. I guess it's a pulley made for this, but yeah, that's a little better. Got a little bit of loose in it, but not too much. So now I'll just tighten this back down. I think though this 11/16 on this piece here, and then the 15/16 on that fan, that looks to me like that would all be the same for any Model T out there. I don't know if anybody's watching this. I don't know if anybody's watching this to do what I do. Most people do it to see how not to do it. But anyway, so that's back together. And then I could probably try to fire it up on screen here so you guys can see if, like, you know, parts flying off and that kind of thing. So let me, I got a feeling we have antifreeze going everywhere probably too, but let's see once. This one, I'm just going to turn it over so you guys can see it turn over. So it seems like it's going to work all right. It's kind of back a little bit on that pulley, but there's a flange on there. I may have to, this top one's back some too. I may have to just take a look at that and see what options I have to move some stuff around. This isn't going to move a whole lot, so anyway, that's at least got you a little bit of action putting that piece on. We'll get her back on the street this weekend and we'll show you guys more. Have a good night.